The disappearance of Maddie McCann is a case that has gripped the world for years. A story so filled with twists and turns that it often feels more like a movie script than a real-life tragedy. Today, we're going to strip away the speculation and go back to the very beginning, focusing only on the known facts of the first few days. Let's travel back to May 2007. The McCann family, Kate and Gary, along with their 3 young children's 3-year-old, Madeline, and 2-year-old twins, Sean and Emily, were on holiday. They were part of a larger group of friends who came to be known as the Tapas 7. They were all staying at the Ocean Club Resort in Praia de Las, a picturesque seaside town in the Algarve region of Portugal. It was a trip they'd taken together before, a chance to relax and enjoy the sun. The group consisted of the McCanns and 3 other couples with their own children. Every evening, their routine was the same. After putting the kids to bed, the adults would meet for dinner at the resort's tapas restaurant, which was located about 55 meters, or roughly 180 feet, from their ground floor apartment. 5A. The apartment was at the back of the complex, and the restaurant was situated by the poolside at the front. The layout is crucial to understanding the events that unfolded. From their table at the restaurant, the parents had a view of the general direction of their apartments, but it wasn't a direct, unobstructed line of sight. They couldn't see the front door or the windows of apartment 5A. To check on the children, they would have to walk around the pool area and down a path. On the evening of Thursday, May 3rd, the routine continued. The McCanns put Madeline and the twins to bed around 7 p.m. The children were all sleeping in the same room. According to Kate McCann's statements, the patio doors at the back of the apartment, which led to a small terrace, were locked. The front door was also locked. The only way in or out was through the windows or by unlocking one of the doors. Around 8:30 p.m., Kate and Gary McCann left their apartment and walked to the Tapas restaurant to join their friends. They were the last of the group to arrive. Throughout the dinner, the parents in the group took turns going back to their respective apartments to check on their sleeping children. It was a system they had established to ensure the kids were safe. Gary McCann did the first check on his children at around 9:05 p.m. He entered the apartment through the unlocked patio doors, which he had left that way for easy access. He saw all 3 of his children sleeping peacefully in their beds. He noted that the children's bedroom door was wide open, which he thought was unusual as they always left it only slightly ajar. He closed it partway again before leaving the apartment, pulling the patio doors shut, but not locking them. Around the same time, one of the friends in the group, Jane Tanner, was walking back from checking on her own child. As she passed the McCann's apartment, she saw a man walking away from the area. He was carrying a child in his arms. The child was wearing what looked like light-colored or pink pajamas. At the time, she didn't think much of it. She assumed it was just another holidaymaker taking their child back to their room after a late evening. This sighting would later become a critical piece of the puzzle. Back at the restaurant, the evening continued. Another friend, Matthew Oldfield, offered to do a check on the McCann children when he went to check on his own. Around 9:30 p.m., he went to the McCann's apartment and listened at the children's bedroom window. He heard no noise and saw nothing amiss, so he returned to the restaurant without actually entering the apartment or looking inside the room. The atmosphere was relaxed. The friends were chatting and enjoying their meal. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. The resort was filled with the low hum of other families and couples enjoying their holiday. Praia da Luz was considered a very safe, family-friendly destination. The idea that a child could be taken from their bed was unthinkable. The turning point came at 10 p.m. It was Kate McCann's turn to check on the children. She left the restaurant and walked a short distance back to apartment 5A. As she approached, she noticed the children's bedroom window was open and the shutter was raised. This was immediately alarming. She entered the apartment and went into the bedroom. The twins, Sean and Emily, were still sound asleep in their cots, but Madeline's bed was empty. The pink cuddle cat soft toy that she always slept with was still there, as was the blanket she was tucked under. But Madeline was gone. Panic set in instantly. Kate ran frantically around the apartment, checking under beds and cupboards, her heart pounding in her chest. She then raced back to the restaurant, screaming, "Madeline's gone. Someone's taken her." The holiday atmosphere shattered in an instant. The friends and resort staff immediately launched a desperate search. They fanned out across the complex, calling Madeline's name, their voices filled with growing dread. They scoured the grounds, checked the pool area, looked in bins, and searched under cars. Gary McCann ran to the resort's reception to raise the alarm. The local Portuguese police, the GNR, were called. Arriving around 10:41 p.m., the search intensified, expanding beyond the resort. But as the minutes turned into hours, a horrifying realization began to sink in. This wasn't a case of a child wandering off. It's the open window, the raised shutter, all pointed to something far more sinister. It pointed to an abduction. The news spread like wildfire. The next morning, the world woke up to the story of a missing British girl in Portugal. The McCanns, once just a normal family on vacation, were thrust into the center of an international media storm. Their faces, etched with anguish and disbelief, were broadcast across the globe. In the days that followed, the search operation grew massive, involving police, volunteers, and search and rescue teams. The McCanns made their first public appeal for their daughter's return. They were exhausted, traumatized, and living every parent's worst nightmare. Their pleas were heartbreaking and raw. However, it was during their first major press conference that a different kind of narrative began to form. As Kate McCann pleaded for Madeline's safe return, her voice breaking with emotion, some observers and parts of the media began to dissect her demeanor. A cruel and speculative conversation started online and in tabloids, accusing her of not appearing distressed enough, of fake crying. The focus began to shift, subtly at first, from the search for a missing child to the scrutiny of her parents' behavior. The family's nightmare was just beginning, and it was about to get unimaginably worse. We'll stop here for today. The story of what happened next, how the investigation unfolded, and how the McCanns themselves came under suspicion is a complex and deeply emotional journey. Join us tomorrow for part 2 as we continue to unpack the facts behind this heartbreaking case. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you then.